Welcome to the Creative Plan Podcast Network. Join us as we share our favorite RPGs, one-shot games, tabletop games, reviews of items, and convention panels, and other exciting things that we run into from time to time. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, assigned to Ragnarok Story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, Jim here with Creative Plan Podcast with Kelly, Andee, Franklin, and Anaia.
Hi.
Hey. I have a dream, and in this dream is everybody gets to play whatever games they have, and they have plenty of time to play these games. Because the word for the day is dream.
Dream, huh?
Dream a little dream of me.
Stars moving, but I think
She'll have that song stuck in her head for days now.
Yay.
Trying to think of any time
I'll start off. Dream. Using dreams as prophetic tools is a good thing with dreams. As well as, since we did talk about riffs not too long ago, is using dreams as a way to wiping out your player characters to teach them a lesson without actually killing their characters. So, like,
are you going to pull the whole, it was all a dream?
Well, actually pull a mind melter that has precognitive abilities, because we did talk about that one once, where you basically go with the horrible plan that you heard the players come up with, wipe them out, and basically, have that mind melter wake up in a sweat, realizing, okay, that plan's not going to work. Yep. There's a dragon inside, and the group will go, what? We didn't know anything about a dragon. Let's go ask around before we go into there. And then give them a warning using the dream. So the classic movie style, it's all just a dream, does work. Come on. Freddie Kruger can't be wrong.
Yes, he can.
I've never actually seen.
What?
I've never actually seen.
You've never seen the waterbed scene of Freddie Kruger?
I've never
seen
any of the.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of the
terrifying and bad acting at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what's
it was
safe
so great.
because the bad acting. The bad acting makes it totally not going to give me nightmares.
Yeah.
I
was just never interested. I
hated those movies because they scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yay! So when I think of dreams, I think of games so good where you're like so into the story that you like finish playing for the night and then you continue in your dreams.
Oh, okay.
Or
magical.
or you stop right before you have to get to like you have a dilemma and you're like, okay, next game we'll figure out what we're gonna do, and then you do that. You figure out things. I've actually had this happen to me where I will like dream what to do for the next week, the night we finish playing. And then I'm like, oh, you guys had this really cool idea. I don't tell people it was a dream. But, that's okay.
Where do you think good ideas come from?
Right?
It's the resting mind.
Yeah.
I've had more than a few GM games where I'm like, dream this cool story and write it down real quick.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is the shit. The resting mind did its job.
Mm-hmm.
They say, 3 B's of creativity or problem solving. Bed, bath, and bus. When you're not actively engaged in...
When you can let your mind wander.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your mind is more free to, it will create different connections than when you're trying to actively focus on it. But if you just have the question or the issue in the back of your mind when you're doing something, it can help.
I was so worried you were going to say bullets, Band-Aids, and blankets.
What?
You smiled. You got it. It's another 3B.
No. I'm like, I'm trying hard to figure, like, I don't think I've ever, I mean, I've done what you've done, that for, you get so involved with the character or a storyline that then you wind up dreaming about it, especially since, hey, you just gamed or something. Because it's usually an evening pastime for a lot of people. But I don't think I've ever had employed the whole dream thing in any of my games per se. I remember playing Ravenloft, like when I was a kid.
Oh, doesn't the main dude do stuff?
The
through
straw.
dreams?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
And of course, and if you were a female character, you would
do
be
the whole
turned
Dracula.
into a bride. So, I guess that was more of a, dreamlike trance.
He was,
you have a
It was
trance.
it was basically...
So I guess in that, if you were a female character, you would be, you could be entranced, so like a dreamlike state.
Oh my god!
And then turned into one of his brides because it was the whole.
You totally reminded me of something hilarious. It's not necessarily related, but it's still really funny. We were in Ravenloft one time, and we were hunting a werewolf or doing something stupid, and we were in his castle, and we were up at. I was playing a bard, and I was a gypsy chick or whatever, and I was rather loose, I guess. So when I think of dreams, I also think of like illusions, right? Because that's kind of what dreams are. And so we were trying to track him down, and my character totally fell for it. Where we got to this door, and we were like, okay, we're gonna ambush them. And then we were totally hearing them having sex. Right? And my character thought, oh yeah, they're getting it on. Don't want to be rude. Gotta let them finish. It's totally an illusion. And he had gotten out the window. Bastard. Oh my god.
My first, actually, just as a side note, the first death of one of my characters, the first time I ever had a character die was in Ravenloft.
Oof.
My dwarf, I remember his name. He was called Diamond. Because I named him after
King
Jim.
Diamond.
No, it's gems. I had a bunch of little dwarves that were named after Saph was short for Sapphire, and but Diamond was the first one that I created. And he died all right, fell and then splat all over the ground. So it was, now he's perchance to dream in that sleep of death.
What about you, Franklin?
I am reminded of a few of the times when I have had adventures within a dreamscape. It's kind of, speaking of, Nightmare on Elm Street, it runs basically a lot like that, where it could pretty much be anything, but you're dealing with the mind of the dreamer, and it can conjure just about anything, and then the characters who are adventuring inside the dreamscape have to deal with all of that going on, as well as solve whatever they're there to solve, whatever reason they're going into the dreamscape. I've done that kind of scenario maybe 3 times.
Don't they call the astral plane in Australia in Shadowrun the Dreaming?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
And it's kind of like that. This weird, cohesive.
What do they call it? The Aborigines.
Isn't it called the Dreaming?
I
thought it was.
Dreamtime?
Something like that. I can't remember exactly, but
yeah, something similar to that.
And then there's Changeling the Dreaming.
Emerald Dream.
Changeling the Dreaming, and then you have
the Druid
the Dream Speakers in Mage.
Nightspawn did the
Those are fun.
Dreamscape for Palladium.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting how in all the RPGs that I've read, like the ones that we were just talking about, how dreams are always all about possibilities and creativity, and that's kind of how RPGs are in general. So it's kind of like we're creating our own cognizant dream as we're playing.
Too. We're all sharing that dream.
Yeah, it's collective, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now I'm thinking about Borg. Why did I say collective?
I got a suggestion for you.
Because you're
if looking for
assimilated.
one.
You got a suggestion for me? Yeah.
What would be your dream game or group? Dream team.
I did. I created a dream team once.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little harder for me. 'Cause I don't know all the different things yet.
From your young RPG experience.
I do not particularly like playing with characters that are very egotistical and want to be a god. Does that make
So no Scion.
So no megalomaniacs.
So you're talking about like
The character.
the player wanting to hog all of the attention.
Yeah.
Spotlight
So
on.
you like
I
party harmony.
I definitely like the fate system
Mhm.
so far the best because you're all playing collectively. You're all figuring it out together. You want to see this image on a screen and it's a movie or it's a book or whatever situation it is. And so a dream team for me would be a group of players who are able to be kind of maybe not harmonious because you kind of need the
You need a little bit of conflict.
a little bit of conflict to get things moving
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, or to like see a different perspective
Mhm.
or things like that. But every single time I have played a game or attempted to play a game with a character who wants, or a player who just wants to be a god, and you must bow down to them, has always ended dramatically.
So the really power hungry or
The people who essentially, like in real life, are disrespected and not thought of as people, or like not thought of as like, oh, who cares about that person, whatever. They, when it comes to gaming, it's an
Power
escape,
trip.
and they want a power trip.
They want to be good at everything and better at everything than you are.
Than every other character. They basically want
so
to...
the min-maxers who
Yeah.
craft a character uber powerful
Mhm.
at the sacrifice of the story.
Yes. I keep bringing it back, but the first game
So
I ever
you-
played
You got some
had
trauma
these
there.
So
characters.
rather than dream, you're talking about nightmare,
Yes. And the weirdest thing is, I actually don't
which is just a
dream.
bad
I
dream.
have nightmares in general. So I don't dream normal dreams. I usually have nightmares or something weird's going on. So, but like,
If you're talking to Insomniac, who
Right.
always constantly
That's a good
dreams and
point.
usually has
but I also
anxiety
am a
nightmares.
daydreamer. I am constantly in my head and dreaming up fun little scenarios and weird scenarios and doing all these different things. But when it comes to like the perfect dream team or the perfect dream game session or something like that, it's never ever ever do I want someone who wants to be the center of attention.
But what do you want? Not what you don't want. What is it you do want in your teammates?
Well,
throw out the good things. Like you want cooperative.
being cooperative, but also being your own like opinionated, so we can figure out different scenarios. We can like if the whole entire party is like, let's go in this direction, and you're just going in a smooth direction, and things are going in this blah 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 whatever, and no one's necessarily seeing the really cool ways you can go around a certain. It's hard
So
to
you're still
explain.
wanting some friction.
I like friction. I like drama. I like chaos, for sure. Because if you're going to have a story where everything goes the way the characters want it to go,
Nothing.
Then it gets boring.
it
Yeah.
gets very boring very quickly. So I don't necessarily have a dream team of I want chaotic neutral. I want lawful.
You want
good.
drama in the story, not in the players.
Yes, that would be.
Kind of like when
perfect.
Franklin and I played when we're in our fake game that we are trying to start playing.
We're trying so
How
hard.
like we have this like dynamic where we bitch at each other, but we're not actually like actually mad at
Yeah.
each
You're doing
other.
it
There's
in
really a
character.
certain amount of respect.
Yeah,
You know, when you
yeah.
get to that point of where you can give your friends shit
Yeah.
without
Mhm.
being
But like, if you didn't know us, you might think that we were like a married couple that was like bitching at each other through our characters. But that's totally not what we're doing.
No.
It's just we're playing our characters.
Yeah, I live with you guys. I know.
Yeah.
I know when you're mad at each other. But yeah, it's that I just want the story to go well.
You know what my dream would be? Everybody being able to get together every week at the same time, every week.
Amen to that.
And not having, like, everybody's calendars just... 7 to 10 p.m. every Thursday night. That would be fantastic.
And we just get there and start gaming.
Yeah.
No drama.
That's the dream.
No catching up.
Start gaming right
just
away
like
without all
you
the
walk in the
extraness.
door, you get your drinks and your snacks, you sit down and you go.
You know, one of the best, Duncan, you know.
Yeah, I was just saying.
They had, their gaming group had a trick they discovered. On Tuesday, they'd get together and have a potluck.
Mm-hmm.
On Wednesday, they'd shut up and game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're
they would
kibitzing
separate.
out.
You get the whole, hey,
The
what have you been up to
socialization.
type of thing.
Yep.
What
You
happened
get
in
your
the last
social interaction done first, and then the next session you
That's how
just
you had to
game.
do it.
Yeah,
Because
we
that
used
way
to do
it's
that
breaking
where we
down.
would have dinner first,
Mm-hmm.
and then after dinner, then we would game, because everybody was, like, ready to play after we were done eating and talking.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, since we're all adults, we only have a limited window of time to play, so we don't want to take away any of that stuff.
Although I think in
Adults.
regards to this, it's like a lot of us get to do that socializing while we're setting up
Yeah.
or getting, and that type of thing. So, but when
People are.
it is a dream, if
It is a dream.
everybody shows up on time, it's a lot easier to then just go into.
It also very much helps when half of the party is living together.
Actually, that does. I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about at all. I'm like,
hey, when
seeking roommate also must be gamer.
I think that's
we'll
one of the
game by
reasons-
osmosis.
These days, somebody show up with their Xbox though.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a different kind of game.
yeah.
That might be one of the
Paper
reasons
gamer.
That works
our-
too.
Yeah.
You just pick your time.
But that's probably one of the reasons our D&D group with the boys are going so well, because most of us live together.
And the boys are doing great in the game. I mean,
yeah.
They really are picking it up.
Yeah,
Our
they're
wizards
very
being
much
very
good.
wise, and our rogues being very roguish.
Hey,
If he could
clean
just
up
stop
crew.
trying to stab, like, in the face. I'm like, you're a wizard.
But he grew up watching Gandalf with his big sword, fighting a
Gandalf's
Balrog.
real.
Yeah, but
So
if
back
you
off.
notice, Gandalf doesn't hang out with them very much.
No.
Well,
I'm just saying.
And
No.
true Lord of the Rings fan, that Gandalf is basically a fucking angel,
Yeah.
not
He
a
is.
wizard. He's like if you were to take a druid, a wizard, an Assamite, and a few other things put together, and he's really just their guardian angel.
He is a damn good guardian angel.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Except when he's not.
So, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I am very, very impressed with the boys'
It's a
performances.
dream come true.
It is.
I think
Yeah.
they're rocking it.
They're definitely rocking it.
Yeah.
Even when he's half asleep.
That was hilarious. He's like, okay, who do I have to
Too
kill?
tired.
yeah.
I need to kill somebody.
Rogue's tired. Someone's gonna
Pretty
die.
good for an 11-year-old and an almost 13-year-old.
Yeah.
For
Which
sure.
they're at that magic dream age where they still have that imagination to play a game. They can find
And
the
we're
love.
not uncool yet. Not 100%.
You're
Well,
only
yeah, we're
mostly
getting there.
Okay, but the thing is, even when they get to that, is since it's a private type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
then they would still be allowed to hang, with, because there's other people, not just the parents,
Mm-hmm.
and now it would be different if their friends were over. Then
Oh,
they
yeah.
would be
No.
super
Yeah,
different.
there'd be
No.
the cool thing, which like we all know in so many gaming circles, the cool thing can make or break a group.
Yeah.
On the plus side, it's a dream to have the family who games together.
Actually,
Yeah.
and what's nice is that role-playing games are definitely making a comeback. Now that geek is definitely chic,
Geek is chic.
that people are more receptive to it. There's not as much of that. stupid stigma that, from when we were younger.
D&D is the devil?
I mean, come on, where the 60 Minutes had this horrible, show.
Are your children
on
worshiping the
devil? I'm like, are you fucking kidding
Just gonna
me?
say
so
mazes
happy.
and
Tom Hanks,
monsters.
Mazes and Monsters.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I don't think he even puts that on his resume because the Mazes
Right.
and Monsters.
You can only find it in Walmart's $5 DVD.
No, you can actually get it on YouTube. But
So
yeah,
happy I
no.
didn't grow up with that stigma.
Yeah,
So
so
happy.
nowadays people are realizing that there's a lot more to it, and younger people are doing, like my nephew, he started playing it, and then he found out some of his older friends played it, and so now he's like much more keen on it,
Because now the cool kids do it too.
Exactly,
Not
and
just mom.
and it's very popular for the military.
Yeah,
Because they can, it's something that doesn't require a whole lot of,
Big
stuff.
boxes.
yeah.
and-
You can,
yeah,
you can do a
equipment.
pickup
I mean,
game.
It is
Exactly.
books,
It's not
but-
like,
Yeah.
and if you don't have access to power, like a console or that type of
TV.
They
thing.
did that.
Or the internet.
Uh-huh.
They did that in a video game where half of the story, it's a mystery, and they're trying to figure out what happened to this station. And you walk into a room, and the entire giant round table is filled with D&D characters.
That's awesome.
And dice and sheets, and you're reading the story, and you're reading the notes, and it's so cool.
I don't know if you guys ever watched the Shannara Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if you just have to
Book
completely
series is
separate it
way
from the
better.
books.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's an
completely.
AU.
Yeah, exactly. And it only was what, 2,
Far
3
away.
seasons?
I think they
Two.
have a new one coming out, don't they?
No,
Or
they
did it
ended.
get cut?
2 seasons, but in season 2, when they fell through the thing, and she finds the
The
dice
deep
that
deep
look like,
cleaning.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
are polyhedral dice! That they found in the high school that was
I tell
buried.
you though,
I'm like,
they,
I got a kick out of
they
that.
do that whole family game night, and when the boys were younger, we tried family game night, and it was just fucking awful. Because you're playing against each other, and it's not fun.
I prefer cooperative games.
Yeah. And
I will never play Risk, ever. I don't care who you... Baby, I love you to death, but I
would
will
play
never
you in
play Risk.
because
Because my brother made it
like
a
the Forbidden
torture.
Island type games. Those are
Yeah.
I like
Those are great.
cooperative.
Or Unknown, which is a great game
Unknown.
where you
Oh,
basically...
we should play that with
The
them
game is
sometime.
you're survivors in the bunker, and you're flipping tiles and creating the...
we
you-
played that
Yeah.
once.
we
Yeah.
played
yeah.
the desert one and the water one.
No,
no,
this
no,
is the
Unknown's a
unknown
different
one.
Oh,
And you basically, as a group, succeed or fail.
Yeah.
And as you're
Yep.
playing different characters, the hunter gets more meat if he kills something. So the gun guy is going to be, here's my bullets, kill it for the meat. And then the
we did
runner,
play that.
Yes.
and then the
Yes,
runner
fine.
will grab the food and run it back to the base
Yeah.
because your
I like
bunker
playing
is
the runner.
dying because
Yeah.
they're running out of food.
But with
She found
D&D,
it
we're
plastic.
playing together, and
Yeah,
exactly.
and it's like
But then if you have that character like my brother who acts, who worked against the party as well, you don't want to play with that person.
nope,
You don't want to play with that character.
nope.
You're going to shank that character in their sleep.
That's right.
As
You
much
know.
as I love to do, open table gamings at the stores and stuff, sometimes you need your dream team.
Yeah,
Hey, go ahead.
we had a
Sometimes-
dream team.
Yep. It's good when you get that group together that just
Mhm.
gels really well.
Although
And-
I have
and
to say,
you-
it's
once
Yeah,
you
we're getting there.
once you get
Best
to
group
playing,
I've
once you
played
sit
with.
down
Yeah.
and you start playing and
Got it.
you go,
Yeah.
that particular group,
It
knows how to go,
snaps
and you
right
can
into
get-
operation.
3 hours, you can get a lot done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, even though they're new to it, the boys are doing fantastic.
You really-
And they're staying engaged, and they're, taking the lead in a lot of things. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is definitely going to start turning into a dream team, especially as they get more experience under their belt.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Because, well, first of all, you two are creative. So it's going to foster a,
Nurturing
they're going to
environment.
see the other games that you're playing. They're going to see how you guys interact with other players, other game systems, other characters, and hopefully it's going to foster a definite continued love
I hope
for
so.
gaming. And
I
then
hope so.
that would be a dream come true, because engaging the younger generations to these types of games.
It's a lot harder now.
It is, because there's so many more. You know, you have the iPads and you have the consoles and you have the,
It's like when we were playing and Gavin's like, am I the only one that's like doing this in my head and I'm seeing all of this in my head? And we're like,
no.
well, duh, that's what everybody does.
That just means you're dialing in.
But
Yeah.
just like when he was, and you were like, well, yeah, that's what you do. And did you see his little face? It was like,
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, and I'm
mind
like,
blown. You do it too?
our minds have an unlimited special effects budget.
Yep.
Yep.
So we are envisioning this, and it's also like chess. You're planning
There's
your
the
next
tactical.
move, type of thing.
Mhm.
And because that means you're also paying attention to the other people and what they're doing.
Mhm.
And you know basically when your turn is going to be because you know the initiative order. So it gives you a chance to, in your head, so you're dreaming or making a little mini movie as to what you want your character to do. And
Although I've
And
got
that's
to let
why
them
when-
fail more.
although
What do you mean?
when you
It's
know
a-
the
it's a
characters
learning
aren't
experience.
playing, you're like they're not engaged, or like they're on their phone and they're not paying attention, and it's your turn, and they're like, what?
I
That's
throw
when-
I throw the fireball
kinda-
into the room that's 10 foot by 10 foot with all my friends in it.
Yeah.
It
no,
kind of kills the
Yeah.
the cinematic for the rest of
I
us.
have to let
but-
Damien, like, no, it's, if he wants to run up to the bad guy and shotgun grasp him, I just gotta let him do it.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, no, you don't want to do that, because blah, blah, blah. Because maybe he does want to do that. And, if
He definitely wants his mage to be a tank. And to be the
Yeah.
center of attention and
Yeah.
to run and
Well,
save
He's
the day.
proud of that huge hit point pool he got.
I mean, he's
Proud
got
of it.
impressive hit points for a mage. My goodness.
For sure, but he's definitely
His hit points bring out
wanting
all
to
the
be-
girls.
He wants to be the Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
Well-
technically a glass
Well,
cannon.
you take a couple levels of fighter. You go Eldritch Knight fighter with your your wizard background, and then you become that cool blade singer elf
But I
guy.
gotta tell you, he was reading a book. Like what? 2 weeks ago at this point?
That was about a week ago.
About a week ago, he was reading a book, and it was just me and him alone in the house. And I was doing something on my computer. Ooh, is it midnight or something?
No.
And
Just about.
he jumped out of his chair and went, Anaia, I know how to make a armor for my wizard. I'm like,
That's
what?
awesome.
And so essentially, he wants to enchant a elf cloak to have armor because a character in his book had it. And I'm
There
just
are
like,
ways.
There are,
Oh, yeah,
there's like
that's
not
magic
at this
item
level.
roads.
But
You
he
can-
It's
got
definitely
so
doable.
excited. It was so
That's
beautiful.
the one sad thing with 5th is magic is like dropped in combos.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, it's possible.
Yeah.
So you just got to work at
But
it.
if you
It just
think
has to
about
get
it,
it could
it
be like
creates
a
more of a
shield
balance.
or a-
Yeah.
yeah, it creates more of a balance. But Jim's slowly introducing,
Mhm.
eventually every character
We'll get
is going
some-
to get some
some
type of
stuff.
special item.
I have.
Yeah, like you have one.
I'm waiting.
I have one. It's not magic, but it.
Yeah.
It protects.
And don't
me.
be shy to use
Um,
it
I
too.
have to be like level 3. So no, I already tuned it.
You attuned to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can use it.
So yeah.
Yeah, don't forget you got that because that's a
I'm not
powerful piece
forgetting.
of magical
I don't
musical
want it
instrument.
to break on me.
It won't.
It's
It's
magic
it's
items
magical
don't really
item.
break.
It's, you're not
Okay.
going to roll a natural 1 and break
This
it.
is a rust monster.
You're going to roll a
Yeah,
natural
no,
1 and it's
Jim's
going to
not allowed to
fall
use
into the
those.
water.
It's
Yeah.
not-
Wanna game with
I'm
me?
allowed to
Forbidden.
Rust
Nope.
Monster.
Rust monsters, gelatinous cubes, and boarworms are not allowed.
You
know
only get
this.
one of those 3.
That just sounds
No.
like a nightmare. I don't want any
The
of
problem
those.
with rust monsters is that their tentacles touch metal and
Yeah, they have this
instantly
cool-
turns it to rust.
It's an
And if it's a
armadillo
magical
with
item, it reduces
cool
its effectiveness.
Yeah.
You see a rust monster, you
You
run.
run.
Yes. You
It
don't
It
go
goes up
anywhere
to the
near
paladin
it.
and goes, and he's now wearing a chain bikini.
If you can attack, it safely from 100 feet away, that's okay.
Yeah.
With a
So
halfling, with a
entangle works
stone
well for
sling.
that.
Yeah. Nuke it with magic.
Yes.
You can with magic, okay.
But yeah, you don't get anywhere near
Or
that.
you bait him with a stick and a sword on it till you find where the magical constructs are you have to get past.
Okay.
And then you throw the sword in the room with them. and
Yeah,
you-
because the paladin in half plate, it's gonna go after the sword on the stick. when it can smell the pally.
Well, yeah, because the paladin's going to be wearing a bikini at that point because all of his armor is ash.
Rust monsters are a dream monster
That's
for
awesome.
GMs because it's for amateur GMs to fix the mistake when they've given
Accidentally
too powerful
give
magic
too much
items.
stuff.
See. Yeah.
Like if someone's got adamantium plate armor that I can't crit on them. They throw a rust monster out and it goes, hi, with those antennae and just fondles you and your armor goes,
Oh, that
and it's
look.
like,
That was an amazing look.
vocal sword at level 1.
Yeah, a
Rust
cleric of
monster.
the forge. That's my worst nightmare.
Cleric of the Forge would probably either love the rust monster,
Oh, hell no.
baby, think of all the clients it creates, or
No.
create a freaking crusade to wipe them off the face of the map because they are the athame of your god.
Well, not only that, it's like my creations would be,
Well,
you
think
know,
about it,
it's
they're
like,
pure nihilist destruction.
exactly, and I can't abide that.
The dude does not abide.
The dude does not abide. So is that a good place to probably wrap it up there for
I think
Dream?
so.
Because I think this Dream's gotten off the tracks. It's changed
Like
channels.
most dreams.
Yeah.
Well, constantly.
Dreams go all over the place.
Yeah.
It's
true,
like
they do.
constantly flipping channels.
All over the
My favorite part about a dream is when you have stand-in actors
Yes.
that are like, it's supposed to be Kelly, but it's really my friend Anaia that's playing Kelly in the dream. And in the dream state, you're totally like, oh, hey, Kelly, what's up? And it's totally Anaia talking back to you. And you're like, oh, yeah. And then you wake up and you're like, what the
the
fuck
hell?
just happened?
What kind of weird thing was I working through in my head?
Yep.
So keep dreaming. Keep gaming. Let's all dream the dream that we can live gaming nonstop on the perfect schedule that gaming happens all the time.
That is.
August is rough. We got like almost no gaming this month.
I know, right?
Almost, yeah, nothing.
My
Dude,
Saturday
I was-
games are all booked and done, and now I have no more games till the end of the month.
So excited when you were like, Kelly really wants to game on Thursday. And I was like,
Yes!
because I was super, super bummed that we didn't get to play on Sunday.
I was too. I was like, what?
Saturday night we were going to bed when you sent your message. Kelly's like, at least I have tomorrow to game. And that was just when I looked at my phone. I'm like, honey, you get to sleep in. And she's like, give me
I
my
was
phone
so
to set my
depressed.
alarm.
Down in the depths of the mountain, we dwarves spend our time forging powerful weapons, mining precious gems and metals, and feasting like kings. But after a day of digging for the next Arkenstone, this dwarf likes to come home to a package full of loot. Dungeon Crate is a monthly subscription box service forged specifically for RPG and tabletop gamers. Miniatures, dice, tokens, coins, maps, modules, terrain pieces, handcrafted items, RPG jewelry, and more are yours for only a few gold per month. You even get a digital crate along with a physical one as an added bonus. So are you brave enough to reward yourself with a Dungeon Crate? By Morden's beard, I hope so. DungeonCrate.com. Let the adventure begin.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.